In the scriptural justice system, the highest of the high, the Most High, Yah, is the judge and jury, and the seed of Israel are his children. These are their stories. When the prophet said, Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people, he was speaking about the northern kingdom of Israel located in the Levant Near East, surrounded by nations that were all still Afro-Asiatic and dark-skinned, not Europeans, not Native Americans, not Mexicans. Let's break this down step by step. Up 1. Text and setting. Open quote, Hosea 7:8, Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Close quote. Time, 8th century BCE. Place, Northern Kingdom, Samaria region. Audience, descendants of Jacob living under Israelite kings before the Assyrian exile. Neighboring nations, Egypt, Cush, Ethiopia, Nubia, Canaanites, Phoenicians, Aram, Syria, Philistines, Edom, Moab, and Assyria, all within the Afro-Asiatic sphere. So the people around Ephraim were other Near Eastern and African nations, not Europeans or Native Americans. 2. Mixed himself among the people. Hebrew meaning, Hebrew root, Arab, Arabs, to mingle, intermix, exchange, ally. It's the same root used for intermarriage, treaty, or trade alliances. So Hosea isn't saying Ephraim changed colour. He's saying Ephraim blended politically, culturally, and religiously with surrounding nations, adopted their idols, customs, and values. Cross-reference, Psalm 106:35, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works. Ezra 9 verse 2, for they have taken of their daughters, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Same concept, spiritual and covenantal mixture, not a race change. Number 3. Who were the people around Ephraim? Archaeology and ancient art from that period, Egyptian reliefs, Assyrian wall carvings, show that all these nations were varying shades of black and brown. Nation, region, physical depictions in ancient sources. Cush, Ethiopia, Upper Nile. Jet black skin, tightly curled hair. Egypt, Mizraim, Nile Valley, reddish-brown to dark brown. Canaan, Phoenicia, Eastern Mediterranean, brown skin, similar features to Egyptians. Nubia, south of Egypt, deep brown to black. Assyria, Babylon, Mesopotamia, brown Semitic appearance. So when Ephraim mixed among the people, he was blending with fellow Afro-Asiatic nations, still melanated, still of that ancient Eastern African rootstock. Number 4. What the prophet was condemning Hosea's message. Ephraim had political alliances with Assyria and Egypt, Hosea 7:11. He adopted their idol worship, Baal, Astarte. He trusted foreign powers instead of Yah. So mixing equal assimilation and compromise, not genetics. That's why the metaphor continues, a cake not turned, half obedient, half pagan, burnt on one side, raw on the other. Now 5, context versus modern misuse. When modern camps teach that mixed among the people means Ephraim became Latino or Native American looking, they ignore. Geography. Hosea's world was the Near East, not the Western Hemisphere. Timeline, 700 years BCE, long before transatlantic migration. Neighbor nations, all Afro-Asiatic, not Eurasian or Amerindian. The mixing was cultural betrayal within a black-appearing region, not a prophecy about a new racial group. 6. Supporting verses. Showing the people's appearance. Amos 9:7. Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? Exodus 2:19. Moses mistaken for an Egyptian. Acts 21:38-39. Paul mistaken for an Egyptian by a Roman officer. All point to Israelites resembling Nile Valley Africans, not indigenous Americans. 7. Summary. Phrase, real meaning misuse. Corrected, directed Israel. Ephraim mixed among the people. Joined himself to surrounding Afro-Asiatic nations in customs and worship, not a racial mixing with new continental peoples. Cake not turned, half devoted, half corrupt Israel, not a skin tone metaphor. People around him, Egyptians, Cushites, Canaanites, Assyrians, all black-brown nations, not Europeans or Native Americans. In plain words, when Hosea said Ephraim mixed among the people, he was warning the northern kingdom that they had become spiritually polluted by the black and brown nations around them, not predicting that one day Israelites would look like Mexicans or Native Americans. It's a covenant correction, not a color chart or tribal map. Two different peoples, one common captor. Europeans did the same thing everywhere they went: invade, enslave, rename and rewrite. But not every enslaved or colonized nation shares the same bloodline. The children of Israel were the covenant people scattered from their homeland. Native Americans and Mexicans are indigenous nations of the Western Hemisphere. Both were crushed under European rule, but the covenant appearance and prophecies belong to one lineage only. One different origin, same oppressor. Israelites, Afro-descended, were taken from their homeland, shipped across oceans, and sold worldwide. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, "You shall be brought into Egypt again with ships." Native Americans and Mexicans were already in their lands when Europeans came. They were conquered, forced to labor, and later received land settlements and reparations. The Israelites remained landless and scattered. 2. Covenant verses. Colony, the Most High made a covenant only with Abraham's seed through Isaac and Jacob, people later described as looking like Ethiopians. Amos 9:7, "Are you not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel?" Native nations and Mexicans were never given that covenant. Their suffering came from colonization, not from breaking Mosaic law. Naf 3. Look-alike myth. Some say we all wore fringes or similar clothes, so we're the same. But clothing doesn't create lineage. Numbers 15:38-40 shows fringes were a sign for Israel's obedience, not a universal fashion code. Just like Egyptians and Israelites looked alike in color but were not the same nation, Native Americans and Mexicans can share oppression without sharing the bloodline. 4. Prophecy marks the real line. Israel lost name, language, homeland and identity, scattered to every nation. Lamentations 5:2, "Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens." Native Mexican peoples, conquered but still recognized as nations, they hold reservations, languages and flag-bearing governments. That difference alone separates the covenant curse from colonial occupation. 5. The simple truth. Being enslaved doesn't make a nation Israel. If that were true, Arabs, Africans, Asians and Pacific Islanders would all be Israelites too, which makes no sense. The Bible traces one covenant bloodline that still has no homeland today, the scattered Afro-appearing descendants of the ancient Israelites. Let's deal with it straight. Hosea 7:8, "Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned." That verse is not talking about Native Americans, Mexicans, or modern Latino peoples. It's Hosea rebuking the northern kingdom, Ephraim Israel in the 700s BCE, for mixing with the heathen, half-serving Yah and half-serving idols. It's a covenant violation verse, not an ethnicity color chart verse. I'll break it down in layers. 1. Who is Ephraim in Hosea? In Hosea, Ephraim equals shorthand for the northern kingdom of Israel, the 10 tribes, after the split from Judah, 1 Kings 12. Hosea is sent to warn that kingdom before Assyria takes them away. So the audience is Israelites already in the land, already in covenant, already Hebrew, not future Native Americans or Mexicans. So right away the subject is a disobedient Israelite kingdom, not a future group on another continent. 2. What is a cake not turned? Hebrew household picture. They made flatbread on hot stones or a pan. If you don't flip it, one side burns, the other side stays raw. So cake not turned equals ruined bread. It's a metaphor for spiritual corruption, not for one side light skin, one side dark skin. Now 3. The actual point of Hosea 7:8. Read the first half of the verse. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. That's the meaning. He mixed with the nations in politics, idols, alliances, customs. He became half-baked, part Israel, part heathen. Next verse proves it. Hosea 7:9, strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. That's covenant language. Foreigners ate his power because he was chasing them instead of Yah. So the cake not turned is the result of mixing with the nations, not a description of a mixed-race Latino tribe. For what it's not talking about, let's name the false teaching so it can't creep back in. False doctrine. Ephraim is a cake not turned equals the 10 tribes became light brown mixed people in the Americas. Native Mexican, Latino. So today's Latinos are Ephraim. Problems with that. 1 Hosea is rebuking sin, not predicting skin. The whole chapter is about adultery against Yah, Hos 7:1-7, political whoredom, Assyria, Egypt, and stubbornness, not about phenotypes. 2. Mixed with the people equals mixed with their ways. In Torah and prophets, mixing is usually spiritual, political, idols, marriages with idolaters, not your grandkids will be Puerto Rican. Here's how you can translate Hosea's cake not turned into plain metaphors that even a stubborn, overtaught listener can't dodge. Each image hits the same meaning. Something meant to be whole and faithful has become half-done, spoiled, or double-minded. 1. Half-baked bread. Open quote, a loaf burned on one side and raw on the other. Looks right until you taste it. Israel looked religious, but was spiritually rotten. Close quote. Half 2. A lukewarm drink. Open quote, neither hot nor cold, useless for either refreshment or comfort. Cf. 3:16. The people had lost conviction. No full loyalty. Close quote. 3. 1 foot on the shore, 1 in the sea. Open quote, trying to stand on both kingdoms, Yah's covenant and foreign alliances, so the wave knocks you over. Close quote. 4. A fence straddler. Open quote, refuses to choose a side, pretends balance while serving two masters. Eventually you get torn by the wire. Close quote. Far 5, a coin only struck on one side, open quote, bears an image but not the full imprint. Their worship had form but no substance. Close quote. 6, a lamp with oil on one side only, open quote. The wick burns unevenly, half the flame dies. They carried the name of Yah but fed it with foreign oil. Close quote. 7, a field ploughed on one side, overgrown on the other. Open quote, the ground of the heart prepared halfway, part covenant, part compromise. Close quote. 8, a bridge missing its middle span. Open quote, starts toward God, ends in the world. No one can cross safely. Close quote. 9, a marriage bed shared with strangers. Open quote, covenant vows mixed with foreign gods and politics. Fidelity spoiled. Close quote. 10, a soldier wearing 2 uniforms. Open quote, claims both armies, obeys neither commander. That's Hosea's Ephraim. Divided, confused, ineffective. Close quote. Plain speech translation. Hosea isn't talking about color or ethnicity. He's calling out spiritual and political double-dealing. Ephraim wanted the blessings of the covenant while chasing pagan alliances, so Yah compares them to something half-done and ruined. Yes, lukewarm, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, straddling the fence. All capture the idea exactly. Welcome to Yah and Order.
I'm just flying high on my horse. I live by peace while you incite wars. I just mind my business, I just mind my business. While you just in your feelings, you just in your feelings.